Hello everyone, welcome to DC Wood Reviews the Arrowverse, episode 6, and we are now on Vixen season 1. Apologies for being late with this week's episode. I've just started work on a new series of The Box of Stuff, my radio show, which is up now on Mixcloud. I've also been busy with artwork and other projects. Thank you all for your support, your subscriptions and your patience. This week's look at the Arrowverse is something a bit different. Vixen is an animated web series that was produced for the CW Seed, which is CW's online streaming platform. Other exclusive animated content has since followed, like Freedom Fighters for Ray and Constantine City of Demons, but Vixen was the first animated show to be streamed on the CW Seed. Season 1 consisted of 6 episodes, each lasting approximately 4 to 7 minutes and totaling about half an hour altogether. Vixen Season 1 premiered on 25th of August 2015, with weekly instalments airing up to the 29th of September 2015. The show was received positively from fans and critics and explored a new realm for the Arrowverse, that of magic and of course that of animation. Enter Mari McCabe, an orphan and survivor whose village in Africa was wiped out by corrupt warlords. Having been adopted and raised in the United States, we see Mari bailed from jail by her foster father, Chuck. Immediately afterwards, they come under attack from hired thugs who are after Mari's totem necklace, which she inherited from her birth parents. Using the totem's powers to defeat the thugs, Mari now finds herself on a quest to uncover the truth about her past, the totem she wears, and who is mysteriously chasing her. Mari McCabe is now Vixen. Originally, I'd ranked Vixen Season 1 12th overall in my rankings. As a season, as a show, Vixen is a delightful little treat. Obviously, it's a web cartoon with a season that doesn't even equate to a full-length episode of a live-action Arrowverse show. So perhaps it's unfair to compare this to everything else when the format is so different. Nevertheless, this is part of the Arrowverse canon, and the events here and those in Season 2 are all referenced and built upon in Arrow Season 4 and Seasons 2 and 3 of Legends of Tomorrow, making Vixen feel as vital to the Arrowverse as any other show. Warner Brothers Animation and Blue Ribbon Content have produced a show that is true quality. The animation, the voice acting, Blake Neely's soundtrack, it's all top-notch, as is the pacing. For a 6-part miniseries, Vixen Season 1 doesn't waste a moment. It doesn't feel rushed or dragging in any way. It's essentially a 6-part episode, but for a web cartoon that has episodes that barely last 7 minutes each, you could argue that Vixen paces itself much better than the majority of the live-action seasons for television. The overall story is great. I've always liked the Vixen character. She was great in Justice League Unlimited, and I've read a few Justice League comics where Mari is featured prominently. Here for this show, Mari is put to great use. She's got a great personality and fascinating origins. I love the relationship she has with her father, Chuck, voiced by Neil Flynn. Chuck's a great character. To see Mari slowly learn to master her powers and uncover the truths about her past, crossing paths with Arrow and the Flash, ultimately accepting her destiny as Vixen, it's a great journey for Mari. There's plenty of tender moments, there's some good fight scenes and a terrific finale. And again, it's all animated beautifully. Megalyn in Chicken Wokey voices Mari McCabe here, imbuing the character with all the grace and attitude that's required. Megalyn is very much the leading lady here, and I'm pleased that she would reprise the role for her live-action appearance in Arrow Season 4's Taken. There's a great cast all round with, again, Neil Flynn as Chuck McCabe, Sean Patrick Thomas as Professor McAllister, And then there's Anika Noni Rose as Kuasa, Mari's long-lost sister and the main antagonist for Season 1. Noni does a great job with voicing Kuasa. Kuasa herself is a fine villain with personal ties to Mari, and her character receives great focus and depth throughout the show, and of course she would be brought back for Legends of Tomorrow's third season. And of course, as I said, The Flash and the Arrow stop by. Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin drop by to provide voice work for their respective roles. It's a nice guest appearance from the two of them, and it's nice to see Vixen get the stamp of approval from both Arrow and The Flash when all's said and done. From a production and creative standpoint, there's nothing really wrong with this first season, or Vixen itself. As I've said, it's a delightful little treat that fits in comfortably with the rest of the Arrowverse, but the format of it, it's so short and truncated. While the bite-sized nature of Vixen is used brilliantly for the CW seed, and it's much better than the Arrowverse's worst seasons, it can't really match up to the Arrowverse's absolute best either, for obvious reasons. The strict nature of this mini-series mean that there's a lot that can't be fleshed out and explored, and it does make one yearn for a live-action Vixen series, as that would have provided more opportunity to explore Mari's character, her adventures, and overall, it's a great half hour to indulge in, but it's nowhere near as essential or as unforgettable as the live-action Arrowverse shows. So while Vixen Season 1 may not be quintessential in the whole Arrowverse, it's still a great expansion into other media. In fact, it's pretty damn good, and while we could have had so much more from this and Mari McCabe, you certainly won't regret checking out this season or the entire show itself. Overall rating, 7 out of 10. What did you all think of Vixen Season 1? Please tell me in the comments below. Please click like and subscribe. Next week's episode will be a review of The Flash Season 2. See you later. Take care.